This week on Supercars Torque, programming as usual, we're back to talking just about liveries and co-driver announcements. Well, after the excitement of the last few weeks, it's nice to be back to more normal programming where we're just talking about co-drivers and liveries that have been announced. This point of the year, usually there's a few co-drivers kind of announced, usually those ones on the longer term contracts. But right now we have a lot of co-drivers already signed up for the endurance series. So even though they're not allowed to start the race, it's looking, everyone's really trying to get the best guys that they can and get them locked away early. So this week, although not announced as an actual co-driver, it's looking like Jaden Ojeda will be partnering Todd Hazelwood there at Erebus. He spent time with the team in testing. We did have announcements from the three actual BJR cars. Andre Heimgartner will be partnered by Declan Fraser, the Tickford refugee there, getting a bit of a lifeline. Bryce Fullwood will be joined by Jalen Robotham. Jalen did a really good job last year for Matt Stone Racing. Have a look back through the back catalogue there. I got to spend some time with him at Sandown, a great young bloke. Also, check out, I'm trying to remember where the bakery was, but my God, their bakery treats were amazing. Macca Jones, he will be partnered once again by Jordan Boys. They've done a job the last few years, and it was also announced that DJR, Anton De Pasquale, will once again be partnered by Tony D'Alberto, and Will Davison and Kai Allen will be a thing. So everybody, Alex Davison is on the market. Let's see where he pops up. Other announcements as well. The wild card of Craig Lowndes and Cooper Murray was confirmed for the Super Cheap Triple Eight wild card. They will be doing both enduros, and it's expected that there will be a solo event there for Murray at some point during the year. No announcement on when that will be happening. Now, with Tickford expected to have James Moffat and Tyler Everingham again. Blanchard expected to pair up with Aaron Love. Jaden Ojeda likely with Hazelwood, of course. It's only Premier and Matt Stone Racing that haven't announced a co-driver at all yet. I expect both of them to leave it till late in the day, whoever brings the most coin. There's one seat at the Groves and one seat at Team 18 also yet to be announced. They'll be interesting on who takes those seats, and I think there's probably a couple of internationals that people are trying to get to bump up the interest in seats that may not have a lot of interest in them at this point of the year. Now, on to one of my favourite topics, war paint on the cars. So, we've seen quite a few more cars this week. David Reynolds, the Tradie Beer Team 18 car. This looks very similar to Declan Fraser's Tickford car from late last year, but somehow looks so much better. I'm not sure if it's just the putting it on a Camaro instead of a Mustang and the colours work better, or it's just, I don't know. It just looks better. It was a little bit cringeworthy. I thought I just did not like it on the Tickford car last year. I actually think this one looks really good on the Team 18 car. I not exactly sure why, but I just looked at it and went, wow, that looks good. And then you look at the Tickford car from last year that I did not like, and you kind of go, it is, but just somehow it's so much better, in my opinion. Winterbottom's DeWalt car. Looks like it's pretty similar, kind of. It's a bit plainer. They've kind of inverted the black and the yellow from last year. So last year, I think there was more yellow on the car. This year, there's more black on the car. It's a bit inverted. I don't know. I don't think it works as well. I thought this was a really stunning car last year. Usually the DeWalt liveries are very, very good. It seems quite a few teams have pared back the liveries to make them a little bit plainer this year on the cars. I think the cars have got a lot more detail. Like, you look back to the ZB Commodores and, kind of the Gen 2 Mustangs, and they car-wise, they were a lot plainer, so you had to play a lot more with the livery, whereas I think there's a lot more detail on these Gen 3 cars, like in the actual car, so they've tried to pare back the livery. I think maybe they've tried to pare back the liveries so they work a little bit better. I don't think it works on this one. Yeah, I preferred last year's car on that one. Macca Jones, Pizza Hut. Once again, it looks a little bit plainer than last year. I think I preferred last year's. They have hinted that there will be a lot more of those special liveries during the year. I especially liked the gold one and also the one that the kid drew in Adelaide. So I'm a bit excited about some of those Pizza Hut special liveries. They don't seem to have any qualms about going big left of field, having a good crack at it. The Jackson Evans SCT Logistics car, once again, very similar to last year. I like how they've kept the GT stripes on the car. I think that quite suits the Camaro. Also went with my number suggestion of number 12 on that car. I'm pretty sure that was the one I predicted. Nobody go back and look just in case I'm remembering wrong, but I'm pretty sure I said my gut feel is that they'll go for number 12 because that was the first number that was available. The MSR pair, Nick Percat with Bendix. I don't mind this car. I think it looks quite good. You can see some blank spots on the car though, which I'm sure they're the areas that Nick is allowed to sell, because when you look on the Cam Hill car, they're Cam Hill sponsors in those spots on the car that are blank on Nick's car. I really like Nick's car though. Maybe when you start filling it up with some sponsors, maybe it'll won't look quite as nice, but I do like that one. The Tyre Power car, it looks a bit busy. But then that's because Cam Hill has taken, the spots he can sell and sold them to sponsors. The Tyre Power, though, the way it goes down the side of the car, sometimes I think some of these sponsors need to suck it up a little bit with their logo, and maybe if it was a lot bigger on the door, the Tyre Power, like how they've done on the bonnet where it's Tyre Power and then the logo's on top, maybe on the door just have it like big Tyre Power letters. It just looks like it's very small to get that the circle thing very big on the door. Maybe even try and have that circle behind a big Tyre Power down the side of the door. It just, to me, it doesn't kind of work. And I'm not sure if it's in the photos, but the red that's on the car is more an orangey red, looks like on that one, which kind of clashes with the blue, whereas on the Percat car, the red looks like a red, which, yeah, I'm not sure if it's just something to do with the lighting on those photos, but yeah, there's room for improvement on that one. I do like the Percat one. At the moment, I'm trying to think which one's my favourite. Really like David Reynolds' Tradie Beer one. I really like the Truck Assist Ryan Wood car as well. We are still waiting on DJR and Premiere to release theirs, but DJR is going to release exactly the same thing once again. That's what they do. Don't expect much change at Premiere either. That will be 2 Newlon cars coming out. We saw them at the test day in the same livery as last year. I think that's pointing towards where they're going with theirs. Tickford, they haven't, the DJR and Premiere cars will also both be out tomorrow on Wednesday. Tickford haven't announced when they're going to release theirs, but of course the monster car is going to look exactly the same. Once again, it looks like that one up there. The Castrol one, I expect just an evolution of last year's Castrol, probably a couple of different logos on there and things like that, but I think that will look primarily the same. Erebus, they hadn't announced a date before everything imploded. Have we seen their livery though? Will that testing livery carry over? Yeah, because I don't think they've got a hell of a lot of time to really replace all those sponsors on the car. Maybe they might do a thing where, like Grays Online, that was one of Headers, a couple of those guys who seem to have stuck around at the moment, whether they kind of plaster the car up in their colours just to make it look like they have some major sponsors for the year. Also, speaking of Erebus, they've announced that Todd won't be running, he won't be running the number 1 that Brodie was supposed to be running. He also won't be running the 99 that has been typical with that second car. They're going to announce that because that gives them something to announce, some good news maybe. My prediction is that Todd's picked number 35 up there. His Super 2 winning car was number 35 and it's now available because Matt Stone Racing have changed theirs to number 4 and 10. So yeah, you heard it here first. My prediction is Todd Hazelwood running the number 35 this year. So that's it for this week. It's been a little bit of a quieter one. For those who have been asking, I will be doing a season predictions video next week. I will be running my top 10 prediction as well next week. All the details will be in that video, so keep an eye out for that. The entry will either be by email or message, commenting down below on next week's video. So think about it. It will be a top 10 championship predictions for the year. But next week's video, don't bother doing it this week. I will be attending the Bathurst 12 hour on the weekend, so I am pre-recording and I don't have a heap of time to go through comments this week. So don't comment on this one because it might get missed. I do try and get back to everyone. But yeah, with work and taking some time off to go to the 12 hour, I might struggle a little bit this week to get back to everyone. But keep an eye out. The competition will be happening again this year. It will just be organised in next week's video. So keep an eye out for that. Until next time, I'm still Dave and I'll catch you later.